Hello, I'm your host, John Cavendish, and welcome to the Amazon Strategist Show, the show that's no hacks, no silver bullets, and no magic pills, just real practical strategies for Amazon sellers. Today, my guest is CEO of Amazing at Home, which is a global e-commerce consulting company. She's helped thousands of brands launch on the Amazon white label marketplace and beyond, and her knowledge in product development, sourcing, marketing, sales have enabled her to help countless entrepreneurs build their own successful businesses, often from scratch. She has many successful businesses, and her courses and consulting and coaching are ranked some of the highest in the world. So without any further ado, let me welcome to the stage, Amy Weiss.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, John.
Oh, thanks for being on the show. And apologies to everyone watching, because we definitely had some technical difficulties and we're 10 minutes late, but we are here. So yeah, thank you for being here, Amy.
We made it.
We made it, finally. So yeah, whereabouts are you in the world?
I live in San Antonio, Texas.
What's it like being in Texas, living in Texas?
Well, I've lived here for 9 years. I'm originally from Wisconsin. I grew up in Wisconsin. But yeah, and then I was in the military for many years. So I've lived kind of all over the world, in Asia and Europe and, many different places in the United States. But we settled in Texas because, number one, we're veterans and Texas is really good to its veterans. And number two, the funny thing about Texas that I always tell people is when I was in the military, it's kind of like a big melting pot of people, and you never know where people are from unless you ask them, because we're all in uniforms and we're dispersed, and you don't, it's not like you introduce you, hi, I'm from Boston, you're just in the military, right? But there's one exception, and it's if that person's from Texas. Because in their cubicles and stuff, they got the Texas flags up and the Longhorns and all that stuff. And so I thought, when we retired and I put out my resume to work for the government, I got 2 job offers, and one was in Arizona and one was here in San Antonio. And I thought back to all those people that I met over the years that were from Texas, and I was like, man, there must be something about Texas. So we don't have family here. Our family, my husband's family, is in Maryland, and mine is in Wisconsin. But we settled here in Texas, and we really like it. It's a lot of fun. It's hot, really hot most of the year, but it's great. It's a great community and really great people. And even though San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the United States, it actually feels kind of small because everything's really spread out.
Nice. And does that mean it's like everything's bigger in Texas? Like you have to drive everywhere to get everywhere, like across the street, basically?
Luckily, there's so many neighborhoods that you can pretty much get everything you need in your neighborhood. So you don't really have to drive far to go to the store or anything like that. But if you want to attend an event or something and you have to go downtown, then depending on where you live in town, it might be a 30-minute to an hour long drive.
Wow. Through town. That's amazing, because coming from the UK, 30 minutes to an hour, you're like, I'm 2 counties over and somewhere you go twice a year,
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking like 50 miles is the longest distance you'll ever go in like 6 months. And I love sharing and hearing where people are based, because operating the kind of business we do, we can be anywhere in the world. We can be in a different state, different country. I mean, we are pretty much opposite right now on the planet, and you can still run your business anywhere in the world, which I love. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that too. It's the most wonderful thing about e-commerce is just knowing that you can take a vacation, you can move somewhere else for a few months, and you can still operate your business. It's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, I mean, I can see the impact you're making at the moment in the Amazon space. I've seen a lot of your social stuff. I don't know if we're connected through some other networks, but I see you popping up everywhere, all over Facebook and other networks. So congratulations on that. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. I have a really good team.
They're
so good at making sure that all the news gets out, and they're I always give them credit, because people say, Amy, you're everywhere, and I'm like, it's not me. It's them. They're awesome. But I do like to travel and speak at a lot of events and just go to a lot of events too. Because it's just, since I started networking, it has really changed my life and my business. And so I made this commitment, like, I think it was 2 years ago, I made a commitment. I said, I am going to go like to all of the events. Like, I'm just going to like just travel and have fun and go to all these events and speak in as many that I can, and then also just attend. And it really has changed my business. And I've made so many wonderful relationships and just learned so many things that I wouldn't have learned had I just stayed home. And, yes, I have a podcast every Tuesday where I learn a lot from really awesome people. But, there's just something about networking with other sellers, the things that you talk about and they're like, hey, this is what's working for me. And this is what I tried. And then I get to share those same things. And then also as a consultant, I work with an average of 40 brands a week. And, it's so great to be able to understand what people are going through, and also for people that work with me to understand that they're not alone, right? Like this problem that they're having, like someone else experienced that and they figured it out. So it's wonderful to be connected, for sure.
That's awesome. And you said 40 brands a week.
Yeah, on average, between listings and consulting and, live streams and group coaching in our mastermind group. We touch a lot of brands every week. It's just a wonderful experience.
I love it. That's super, super cool. And I totally agree on the networking part, like surrounding yourself with peers who are doing the same thing. I'm coaching some of my nephews at the moment, and I'm like, just get yourself a group of friends that they're all doing what you want to be doing, and then you'll by default be doing it, because otherwise it's just the normal thing. It's normality, isn't it? Everyone's doing it. We're all doing it.
Yeah. And that's the thing about also your friend circle. When you're first getting started in, e-commerce or getting started with your own business, it can be, especially when you still have your day job, it can be very nerve-wracking, because there's a lot of people that will tell you you're crazy, or they really can't relate. And so surrounding yourself with like minds and other, I say, risk takers that are putting themselves out there can really change everything for you. It changes your mindset. It helps you realize you're not alone. It also pushes you, because you see what other people are doing and you're like, okay, I know that person. I know that they still have a day job doing X, Y, or Z, and they're figuring this out and they're pushing ahead. And, it really pushes you. It's the same thing. My husband and I are CrossFitters, and, that's the same kind of like in the workout. It's like some of the hardest workouts you can do. And, in all these years since we've been doing CrossFit, I think it's been like 6 or 7 years now. Wow. It's never gotten easier. It's hard. It kicks my butt every single morning. But, it's not, you're not in competition with anybody else. You're in competition with yourself. But when you're super tired and you're just like, I cannot do another rep, and you look over at that person who's still working their butt off, it just gets you motivated, and it helps you push that extra mile. And bringing yourself together with other entrepreneurs who are doing the same things, it pushes you that extra mile. You look at them and you go, okay, comparison is the thief of joy. So you want to make sure you're not comparing yourself, but you do want to surround yourself with that positive influence and people who are where you want to be, so that you can just keep pushing and keep striving.
I love that phrase. I've never heard it before. Comparison is the thief of joy. That's really cool. In the Amazon space, where's the best place you think people can surround themselves with like-minded people as they're growing and scaling their businesses?
Yeah, I think it's just important, as you mentioned, like to find a peer group. So whether that's, you could either do like a paid mastermind group, or you could meet people inside of networks or whatever, you like going to events, things like that. And then you could create your own group of, people that meet every, week or something like that, every other week, and kind of push each other. But that's, I think the best thing is just getting it should be based on your business model, most likely, because, in the Amazon and e-commerce space, there's so many different things, right? There's private label, there's wholesale, there's There's reselling. There's all kinds of different things. There's people who like to flip products, like sell them used, stuff like that. There's people that sell on Etsy. There's people that sell on multiple marketplaces. So I think it's important to not chase squirrels, because some of us are squirrel chasers, right? Where we're just like, we're like the dog on that movie where he sees the squirrel, he's all happy and going along, and he sees the squirrel, he's like, oh, squirrel, gotta run over there, right? So you want to be careful about constantly chasing new opportunities, because if you don't keep your eyes on your goals, then it's very hard to stay focused. And every time, for me, goal setting and planning is so important. Every time I feel out of control and I feel like I'm just putting out fires, it's time to stop. It's time to set my goals again. It's time to focus, get what I need to do on my list, and move towards it. And then again, just make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are doing similar things that aren't going to distract you from that. So, obviously, if you're in a huge group of sellers, that's fine for general questions, because you get lots of different experience, and somebody who's doing wholesale might be able to answer something about your listing update in that you couldn't figure out in a private label group, right? Like, there's people that have different tricks and tips. I've learned a ton from resellers, so, that's helpful. But when it comes to actual focused activities and your close network, your inner circle, as Brandon Young has coined with his group, that is the group that you want to be focused on what you're doing. And you want to surround yourself with people who are a little further than you as well, so that you can push yourself.
I love it. And I love the goal setting piece, but we'll go back into that after the coaching piece. Otherwise we'll go down the rabbit hole, and then 30 minutes will pass, and they'll be like, oh, we didn't cover what I said we would cover. And that's been my issue running this podcast up until this point. We get super into something and we go all the way down the rabbit hole. So a little small change of tack. Coaching. I know we connected just for this episode, and we were talking about the impact that, you said it's had on your life. I know it's had a massive impact on my life. Can you talk a little bit about that and the impact that coaching has had for you?
Yeah, so it's twofold. I would say the first impact that it had was when I actually reached out and got help with my own private label brand. I hired a coach, and it was expensive, and I was nervous about spending money to hire someone. But, honestly, everything that I tried before then, the little problems that I had. So the problems that I had was that my listings weren't always converting, right? I didn't really understand placement and how to make sure that, my placement was really good, and that I knew how to rank my products. And then also advertising. We were spending a lot on advertising, and we didn't really know how to focus our efforts. And in hiring a coach, we hired a group of coaches, and these guys were great. They dug in, and they helped us with our listings, and they helped us with little things, advertising, focus, what we should be focused on to move the needle. And we probably spent 6 months on our own, just flailing, trying to figure it out. And working with them for 1 month was fixed. You know what I mean? So the money we spent, I think it was $300 for a session or something like that. And for us, for new business, not that many SKUs yet, still scaling. It was is this worth it? But it was, because after that, our sales really picked up. We knew what to focus on. We knew how to fix other things because they had taught us that. So, really, I've always invested in education. I've always invested in courses, in education, outside of, a college education. Of course, I have many degrees, and, thank you, Air Force, for paying for that. But in terms of education, I love taking courses. I'm in 2 courses right now. I love learning. But coaching is a little different. It's hand-holding. It's one-on-one. It's where you get to dig in and go, how do I fix this? And so, yeah, it's huge. And then on the other side, the twofold side, actually me coaching other sellers has really I mean, it's allowed me to give back to them, but they've also grown me in such a huge way because I have worked with sellers in every product category you can imagine. And when I took people on my sourcing trip to China and we walked through the Canton Fair with over 60,000 suppliers in all these different categories, I could speak on products in every single category because I've had not only experience writing listings in those categories because we're copywriters, but also I've worked with sellers who have had pain points in those categories. I can tell people like, ooh, it might look good on Jungle Scout, but trust me, you don't want to go there, right? Because I've worked with so many people that have these problems. So it's enabling me to learn and have knowledge across a huge, just myriad of subjects, but it's also enabled me to help so many more people than if I was just working in my business alone, in my private label brand and not helping all these other sellers. I'd only know pets, right? Like I wouldn't know, so it's grown me so much and it's given me so much. And I know that I've given other sellers so much and helped so many of them start brand new products. I'm an inventor myself. So a lot of my coaching focuses on helping people with product development and sourcing and contracts and the hard things that you don't generally learn in an Amazon course, right? Cleaning up their bottom line. A lot of people don't have enough margin and they're not making any money and they're never going to make money because they don't see the long-term goal, right? So sitting down with people and showing them that, saying, here's how much money you're making. Here's what you need to do in order to get here. You're always going to be digging back into your pocket and you're going to just keep going down this rabbit hole, if you will. So helping people with their margins, helping them source at better prices, helping them with contracts with their suppliers, helping them develop new products, helping them validate whether or not they should launch a product. These are the common things. And then also selling and scaling. So in terms of just daily sales, launching, I help a lot of people with launch. I have a launch strategy I've used for years that is foolproof and incredible, helping them understand how to get reviews, how to set up product inserts, how to design packaging, you name it, anywhere from concept to launch, we help. And it's really nice to be able to help with those things.
I love that. And making a positive impact on so many people must be super fulfilling and energizing.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Whenever I do coaching late at night, I have Tuesday nights, I coach at night and I can't go to bed after that. I'm just like, we figured this out and we did this. And my husband's like, okay.
I'm going to the box. I'm going to work out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's wonderful. I really love it. It's helping people with their toughest problems, So it's really fun to be able to work through that stuff with them. And, just this morning, one of my clients is sourcing from Mexico. She came with us on our Mexico trip and she's sourcing her first product from Mexico. And she sent me a picture of her holding her products up. And she said, I just could never have imagined that I'd be here. And she developed these products and, she's a trendsetter, right? Not everybody's sourcing from Mexico. Not everybody's figuring this out. And, she thanked me for this, but really I want to thank her because she's the one who was brave enough to go to Mexico and find a supplier and start developing a product with them and figure out shipping and all the things, So it's a twofold thing. It's very fulfilling for sure.
I love it. And then you said it changed you being able to coach. I'd also share that it changed me, like having somebody who can reflect and guide in that way. Like, how do you think it changed your personality and the way you interact with people? And how do you think that reflects on one question, how's that reflect on your clients?
Yeah, I think that it's really empowering and humbling at the same time to know that you're capable of helping someone. Sometimes as consultants, it's hard to kind of give ourselves permission. At first, I started as a copywriter and I was really good with SEO. And, I have a little bit of a IT cybersecurity background. So I studied the heck out of Google's algorithm when Amazon's algorithm, wasn't really releasing a lot of information. So I just started testing it with all my listings. And then I thought, well, I can write listings for other people too. Like, I'm having massive success with this. And so I started writing listings for other people. And when they started, I was able to help them sell out of really saturated products because we would just launch them to a new audience. And then they started asking me to consult with them because they're like, how did you do that? I've been trying to sell this product for, all these months. I was going to liquidate and you just made it so that I can order more, and I was like, no, I don't consult. That's not my thing. I'm just, no. So, people kept asking. And finally I was like, okay, fine. Like,
I'll take your money. Here's a payment link.
Yeah, but it's done so much. I didn't know that I was meant to do this, but it brings me so much joy. So it's just wonderful. And then, moving forward and getting my life coaching certification and being able to also help people in that aspect, because business coaching is not just about business. It is people with their livelihoods on the line. A lot of them have invested all of their savings. Maybe they took on debt and invested money they didn't have. And so this, anytime you're dealing with family or finances, it's very serious life stuff. And so just growing myself in a way where I could continue to help people on an even deeper level has just been wonderful. And then those people grow me because they give me harder challenges every time. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. And now, I'm consulting for a lot of a few big companies in the space. I'm, helping them build out business lines and things like that. And my team is coming in and doing amazing things. And, we would never have imagined that we would have gone from helping, sellers get started to helping some of the biggest companies in e-commerce just take it to the next level. So it's been full circle. It's been wonderful. And again, I still seek out those mentors and those coaches for me to grow me because I want to keep growing. And then, I hope to be able to be that person for others who are looking for the same.
That's amazing. And which part of your life do you think coaching's had the biggest impact?
I would say, oh my gosh, I would say connections, establishing deep connections with people. Just got back from Australia and met some people for the first time that I had been coaching for a couple of years. And I mean, that is just wonderful. Like, what more could you ask for, to have those connections all around the world? So I think, forming those deep connections, whether it's somebody coaching me or whether it's me coaching someone, has been just so rewarding and so cool.
Well, I love it. And, there's that thing everyone always says, experiences over possessions over whatever. And my ethos recently, when I wrote this down, was always like, relationships. If we can invest in the relationship over the experience, over anything else, even if we go and like have the worst, go for the worst experience, but with someone and like building the relationship, hanging out, doing something cool, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
So I guess if someone's not even struggling, I mean, at what point should someone talk to a coach and get on board with coaching?
I think when you start spinning your wheels, I mean, of course, the perfect world would be that you start with a coach from the very beginning. You're starting a new business. You can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money just by hiring a coach from the beginning. But that's not possible for everyone. Not everyone can afford that. Some people are bootstrapping completely. And so that's okay. It's okay to just surround yourself with really great people and ask questions and grow on your own. But I think when you start spinning wheels and you start realizing that, like, I can't figure this out on my own. I've watched every YouTube video. I've asked all my Facebook groups. I've done all the things and I don't know how to fix this. And I think at that time, it's time to cave. It's time to let somebody else who probably could have told you how to solve that. And like, that's the biggest thing I hear when people sit down at a coaching session with me. They say, oh my gosh, I wish I found you like 10 years ago, you know, like, or I wish I found you when I started, because it just saves them so much time and money. I mean, I've saved people $90,000 on one negotiation call with their supplier. You know what I mean? Like, that's huge. So when you look at my little coaching fee, like it's nothing, you know, it's you struggle on your own, or you hire somebody who knows. And being a coach, it's not just about, like, you know, me and, like I said, my pet brand. It's that I work with so many brands, and I work with them on their toughest problems. And there's probably, even though I get new things all the time, there's probably, you know, not a problem that I cannot help you with, or that I don't have the resources like Seller Candy to send you to. I know trusted resources. I know who can help you if I can't, and how much time and money is that saving you. So that's what I would say is, you know, it's time to hire a coach when your wheels are spinning. Either from the beginning, build it into your budget because it's so important, or, you know, as you're bootstrapping and you're building, you know, invest in that education. But then when you're getting to a point where you're spinning your wheels, it's time to speed it up.
I totally agree there. And just to share a little experience that I had with coaching and when I joined and why I joined. So after exiting my Amazon business and automating, exiting part of it, I started an agency, like a full service agency 4 years ago. And for the first 6 months, I thought, okay, what I need to do is operations. Operations is what's going to make me money. And obviously, I didn't make much money. You know, we took on a few clients, but, you know, it takes a long time to grow slowly and organically and build that up. So then I met this guy, this sales coach, and I was like, it's, you know, whatever the initial fee was with him, like $6,000, like joined a small 3-month program. And yeah, it changed my life, changed my business. I was in that pain point of spinning my wheels. Joined with him. He was like, oh yeah, this is how you're charging wrong. This is how you're packaging wrong. This is how you're pitching wrong. And then over the next year, we closed $1 million worth of business. And I was like, yeah, best. And then I paid him a bit more, but the best 15 grand ever spent in my life.
Yeah.
And obviously that formed and changed into Seller Candy, and we stopped doing the full service stuff. But at least that was the lesson. And then we repurposed all of that into the next business, into Seller Candy. And, you know, we hit 7 figures in 18 months because we figured it out. We know how it works. And then I had another coach for delivery once we started scaling a team, and managing 50 plus people as a completely different.
Yeah, I can't even. I'm gonna have to hire a coach when I've got 12 people on my team, but I mean, geez,
let's do some exchange. You can help me with some socials. I'll share everything that I know about.
Sounds good. That's another way we could do it, right? Trade services. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
that is such a good story, John. Like that's a perfect example of how you invested and you embrace the suck. You're like, I'm just going to do this because it's going to mean more in the long run. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a different coach, you know, a scaling CEO coach and that's all about communication and leadership and how we, you know, foster the culture that you need when you get to be an organization where I don't talk to the people at the bottom more than once every 2 months. The people that are delivering the services. How do we communicate that? And how do we build this ecosystem that they want to work for you, work for all of our other 160 something clients without us going, you know, without me having to physically be there anytime, you know. So it's a village, you know, it takes a village to deliver at scale.
And it's great that you brought that up because there are so many different types of coaches that can help you. There are so many experts. And even if you can't find a coach, you can usually find an expert and ask them. Like I have found people and just paid them to teach me. I'm like, I will pay you for your time. You're clearly very good at this. I want to learn. Like, walk me through it. I paid a crypto coach that wasn't really a coach. Like he was just like, hey, you know, I've been doing this for a couple of years. I can teach you
cash.
Cool. I wanted to learn it, right? I knew nothing about it. And so now I know how to read a crypto chart. I know how to, you know, I know how to look at different deals. I know how to look at investments and, you know, analyze them. It's like I've learned so much about it and just, you know, paid a coach to help me learn. And, you know, right now I'm in a YouTube affiliate marketing course. And it's something I've always wanted to learn. So, I do Google ads, but I want to take it to the next step. I want to learn that. So I invested in that. And, and when it gets to the point where I get stuck there, I will hire a coach there and you make sure I'm making those dots, right? So yeah, I love it. I think it's so important. I'm also in a life coach course right now. So it's actually for parenting. So it's just, cool. It's a parenting and teen life coach. My kids are both teens. So, and that's made a huge impact on my life. And so, yeah, I think in all areas, we have fitness coaches, we have mindfulness coaches, we have life coaches, we got, so many different coaches, and we should take advantage of them because it's really great to be able to improve and enhance your life in all areas.
No, 100% in there. And as you said, you can start with one session, find the person that helps you in what you're trying to do now, whether it is business or life or fitness, and then scale from there. I mean, I think I spend more than $2,000 a month on coaching, continuously now, because that's what we do, isn't it? Like, you want to get better in every part. I've got a coach for different things, and it just kind of adds up until you're like, oh shit, that's like, oh.
And as you grow, you don't have time to figure it out on your own anymore. The old you probably would have been like, oh, I think
I'd rather keep that money.
So I mean, it's like as you grow, your hourly rate goes up. And you just can't afford to not hire a coach. And that's the area that all of us should strive to get to, where we cannot afford to be working in our businesses. Because our hourly rate has grown, because we have grown beyond our wildest dreams, and it's a coach that's going to get you there.
And it'll happen slowly as well. Like, you won't realize it because, like, my top guys paid double what I was ever paid as a job.
Yeah.
I'm paying this guy double what I ever earned as a salary. And I don't even think about it because it's just changed over time. It's very interesting, isn't it? Life just changes.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been this part has been super valuable, and we're gonna have some really amazing takeaways that we can make into clips. Because I mean, I've got 2 pages of notes which I'm gonna get Viv to change into social clips. So thank you so much for sharing that, Amy, and for diving deep with us. And we're going to come up to the game show part of the show. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's give away some stuff.
Give away some stuff. Well, literally tens of thousands of dollars stuff is on our wheel. And obviously stuff doesn't matter. Some of these are experiences. Some of these are services. Some of these are coaching. Not all stuff. But yeah, stuff is cool too. Make some money, buy some stuff. All right. So on the Amazon Strategist Show, we love to give back. Part of what we do there is we get guests to come on, give away some amazing prizes. Amy has given some amazing prizes, and it's my fault that as my producer is off today, they're not on the wheel yet. So next week, we'll be announcing those prizes and getting them on the wheel. And then they'll be there, as always, until somebody wins them. We're going to announce a few winners first. So let's jump into the wheel. Look at that smooth transition. All right. We still don't have the canned applause, not canned laughter. I'm going to get that for next week. So what we have to do is we have to cheer, and then we're going to announce the winner. So number 1, we have Michael McCuskey. He has won an Amped campaign review. So if you're wanting to drive Google ads to your Amazon listing, check out Amped. They're very cool. I know a lot of big agencies use them as their back end to do their Google ads part. So,
I use them for my Google ads, so
you use them as well. Everyone uses them. I had Brian Johnson on a few weeks ago, and he also uses. They also use them. Everyone uses them.
They're great guys.
They're doing great, and Tyler's just on everywhere. He's also everywhere on the internet right now. Every podcast. He was on our podcast a few months ago. Number 2, we have. Oh no, I'm going to butcher your name, Stina Tijime. She has won Norm's free press release.
Oh, cool! Congrats! Yay!
Congrats. And Norm, if you want to see that episode, if you haven't watched it, Stina, go and check it out. Norm is awesome, and he talks about the tools as well, and they look really, really cool. And the third one, awesome. We have Aaron.
Drum roll.
We do. I got a Stream Deck. Next time I'm going to press the button. It's going to be amazing once I figured that out. So far, I can just do emojis with it. So they get a 30-minute consulting call with Ping Pong. What Ping Pong will do is actually use the Amazon tools and reverse engineer the opportunities for you in Europe. Obviously, and they're going to try and sell you some services, but do it for the free call. Get them to reverse engineer your products and use the data and do what you want with it. So I would always take advantage of sales calls, jump on anything, see what people are trying to sell you, and see what insights they have into your business.
Amazing.
And Amy, you do have two things on here. It is already there. So you have offered all of our viewers, which I think is a bit dangerous, a free listing review at amazingathome.com/listing-review.
Yes. Can I just say something about that? I'm a listing nerd. I love looking at listings. So if you go to amazingathome.com/listing-review, or you just go under the services menu and you can choose free listing review, I personally will send you a video of me sharing my screen and going through your listing and telling you exactly what the problem is. And you can tell me what you want me to look at. If you say my PPC is not performing, I'll be able to tell you why. If you say my, whatever it is, like, I'm not making sales, or I just want to know, is this a good listing? Is it optimized? And so, just no strings attached. Of course, we do copywriting, but at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you honestly, and I get a lot of listings that are great. And I'm like, you don't need anything. It's great. Maybe you could change this photo up or something, but I love that. It grows me. I love to look at people's listings. So yeah, please take me up on that. I challenge you viewers to take me up on that because I love doing them.
All right. Everyone, please inundate and check out amazingathome.com/listing-review. It's not in my pre-loaded thing, so I'll bring it up later. Amy has also put forward a free month in her mastermind group with her entire course library, which will actually, since they're here, they probably are on the wheel. I just missed it completely in my notes. So we will see if anyone wins that today. If not, we're going to be announcing it going forward.
Cool.
Also, still on the wheel, we have $400 worth of reimbursements from our sponsor, Seller Candy. Might as well sponsor our own stuff. Loads of different cash options from $5 to $100. We have, so talking about different business models, Clear the Shelf. Chris Grant, he has got 2 copies of his IP alert and 1 copy of his course on how to really get going. And, this can be a really good extra income stream for people if they have time, but not extra capital to launch products. I think it's awesome. And he's probably the biggest guy in the industry for online arbitrage. We have 2 ecom balance packages with different amounts of credit. I'd recommend them. We just signed up to give them a go. With Nathan, we have a 1-month subscription to refer us on, a Fortune Net consultation. We have something with Ping Pong, which another thing with Ping Pong. We have 6 months free of AI Hello, which is a AI ads management software. We have a free consultation with Z, and Norm still has his tariff buddy, which is on there. And he shared a story last time of how they saved tens of thousands of dollars per container on getting your tariff codes right. It's also unsexy, and 100% check it out if you're shipping full containers, because you're going to save so much money. So much money if you get it right. All right. So, Amy, can we bring up the wheel?
We can bring up the wheel.
Okay, let's do it. And wasn't that smooth? All right, you're in control, Amy. All you have to say is spin that wheel, and we will spin the wheel.
Okay, spin that wheel. I feel like Vanna White. This is exciting. Should have dressed up more for this.
It's all right. We'll do some seed after AI. Oh, cool, awesome! $1,000 worth of credits with ecom balance. So I believe if you're a starter business, that's around, what's that, 4 months of services?
Yeah,
if you're
4
a
months.
7-figure business,
They started
probably
at $250 for a 6-figure business. So amazing.
Yeah, get your books sorted out. Nathan's really cool. Their back-end software is actually pretty good. We've checked it out, and we're actually going to start using it. So we'll let you know how it goes. All right. So do a couple more since it's the live show.
Why not? Okay. Do I have to say spin that wheel again?
You do. Yeah, you're in control.
Go for it. Spin it. Let's see what happens.
Let's see who's won, and it is AI Hello. Cool. So we will do an email intro between you and AI Hello. Check out their software. I've heard it's actually really good. And final one.
All right, let's do it.
I used to say you're in control, and everyone was like trying to click on the screen. It's like, oh, not actually in control.
Hey,
wow,
look at that!
Wow, so you've actually won on this. If you want to put another one forward, Amy, we'll put you back on the wheel for next time. But a free month in your mastermind group with access to your entire course library. I mean, thank you for putting that forward.
Yeah, awesome.
So we will introduce you next week to whoever won that. So if you're interested in any of these prizes, especially in Amy's prize, please do enter. Go to, oh no, here we go. This URL here, which will also be pasted below this recorded video and in the description if you're listening to the podcast, events.sellercandy.com/AMZ-strategy, and enter, and you'll be entered for all future wheel spins.
All right.
So thank you for being my amazing guest on that and the wheel spinner, Amy.
Hey, you know, I feel honored.
All right. We're nearly at the end of the show. We have our rapid fire questions, and we have one question that we ask to all of our guests. So what is one strategic element that you think most people are missing when selling on Amazon?
I would say planning. Most people are not doing their monthly, weekly, quarterly planning sessions. Yeah, that's the key. And then also unit economics. So knowing what your unit economics are so that you can make decisions that are actually going to move the needle for you month over month.
Oh, so good business practices. Like,
yeah,
actually getting the business side down. Yeah, and I would also totally agree with that. Like, these are things that you realize later in your business career that you're like, oh, I wish I'd done some planning at the start.
That's why I'm suffering.
That's why I'm suffering, literally. And that's why I'm going to change, because I'm suffering. All right, so we have the rapid fire questions. There's 8 questions. There are no wrong answers apart from wrong answers. So as quickly as possible, 1 or 2 word answers. Are you ready?
I think so. I'm ready as I'm going to be.
All right. Okay. So question 1, what is your favorite Amazon niche?
Well, I'd have to say pets.
If you could choose no pictures or no reviews, which would you pick?
No reviews.
Name a country that starts with the letter A.
Afghanistan.
Cool. Which Amazon marketplace is the next big opportunity?
Mexico.
Mexico. Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
No.
It's all right. It's a polarizing question. Name something appealing about working from home.
Ooh, more time with family, and I can go sit in the pool if I want to.
Very jealous of that. Organic sales or ad sales?
Organic, 100%.
And name something you'd hate to find swimming around in your bathtub.
A snake.
Snake's a common one. Snake's a common one.
No.
Well, congratulations. You passed.
Yay, I made it. 100%. Those weren't so bad. I was so nervous about those.
It's always a big release when everyone goes, oh, we didn't try and catch you out. Okay. So if anyone wants to connect with you, follow you, get more information about you, your agency, where's the best place to stalk you? Find you?
Well, we have 2 places you can stalk me. Number 1 is
in the nicest way possible.
Number 1 is amazingathome.com. You can visit us there and see all the different things. You can book consulting. You can join our mastermind. You can get a course on Google Ads, whatever you need. We're there, and amazingathome.com is great. And of course, you can follow me on all the socials, Amy Weiss or Amazing at Home. You'll find me on Instagram and Facebook and all the places, Amazing at Home. And then we have a great sellers Facebook group as well. So we're very picky about who we let in our group. It's sellers only. We do not allow VAs or service providers. And it's not that we don't love them. We have a select few service providers that are experts in their field. So of course they get to come in, but we're very careful because we want people who are actually sellers so that they can help each other, because a lot of the bigger groups are kind of inundated with a lot of like just wrong answers from people that are just trying to get clients or whatever, right? So so we have a group. It's called Amazing at Home. You can find it on Facebook, and it's just facebook.com/groups/amazing at home. But make sure if you join us that you answer all the questions, because we are careful about who we let in, as I mentioned, but we love it. We love to connect with you there, and that's a great place if you just have questions about anything in general. And of course, follow us on YouTube as well, Amazing at Home. We have live shows every week. And then our podcast, Seller Roundtable. So sellerroundtable.com, and lots of great episodes about everything you can imagine. We've had Neil Patel on our podcast. We've had, all kinds of, we're about to have, we've had Mike Michalowicz before, the author of Profit First. And I hear from my co-host, Andy Arnott, that we might be having him again. So we have lots of great guests that talk about all kinds of different things. So those are the different areas where you can find me, you can get more information, and would love to connect.
Yeah, thank you. And definitely check out Facebook group, the podcast, and I didn't know you had Neil Patel on. Congrats. Was he a good guest?
He was a really good guest. Andy, actually, my co-host Andy went to an event and got him in person and asked him to be on the podcast. And so, that's a way to get some of the bigger stars on your podcast, is to actually go and ask them in person. So, congrats to Andy for doing that. But it was really great having him on too. He gave a ton of really great nuggets of information. And for me, I'm a big fan of Mike Michalowicz. I read all of his books, everything. So when we had him on our show, I was having a little bit of like a fangirl, like a business crush moment. I was like, okay, calm down, like be chill. But it was really great having him on as well.
I love it. That's so cool when you can connect with your heroes or people you really admire through the podcast. So cool.
Yeah. I learned so much. The podcast is one of my most favorite things that I've done since I started, just because, it's like you don't always take the time to sit down and listen to podcasts, especially when you start working from home. I used to listen to them when I was in the car, still working outside at my day job. But now that I'm home all the time, I don't listen to as many podcasts anymore. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but it's like my podcast is a wonderful way to like set time aside to learn from others.
Yeah, me too about the audiobooks. And we actually started an audiobook club with our leadership team as well. So, once a month we'll listen to one book and then get together and discuss it.
Oh, I love that. That's smart. I should do that with my team. Thank you.
It was my COO's idea, not my idea. We picked 24 assets as the first one because it's kind of 4 hours long, super short, and I love it. I love it as I really love the concept.
I've never heard of that. 24 assets. I'm going to write that down.
The same guy that wrote Key Person of Influence, this Aussie guy who lives in the UK. So he talks a lot about he talks about UK a bit, but it's really cool. It's basically having different assets for products. So we got free products to your high-end products, to your products for your customers, like different types of lead gen, different types of marketing, and they're all assets, and all these things have value, and how we're building our business to be super valuable in the digital economy as opposed to just a brick and mortar assets. So brick and mortar is not being an asset anymore, kind of thing, basically.
I am going to go check that out right now. I'm going to add that to Scribed.
Oh, cool. Well, hopefully, let me know if you like it. I really liked it. That's it. This brings us to the end of the episode. So thank you so much, Amy, for being on the Amazon Strategist Show and for being a client with Seller Candy. For all listeners, when you're re-listening on the re-listens, hope tonight's episode was beneficial to you, and thanks for listening to the Amazon Strategist Show. If you do like the show, please do like, subscribe, wherever that is, above, below, around this, on any platform, and be sure to come back next week for another discussion. I think actually we're having a week off next week, and then week after we have Don Herrig, who's a crewmie Don. Don is a super high-level entrepreneur when you chat to him, so I'm really excited to dive into some of his previous organizations, what he's built up and sold, and come in for that one, tune in for that episode.
For
So
sure.
thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.